Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Dave Neal here. We've got Rachel Lindsay on the Higher Learning podcast with Lathan talking about Colton Underwood coming out of the closet, her reaction to this all, and I'll be honest, it doesn't come without some good old-fashioned Bachelor Nation feuding. After I play this clip, we will talk about some of the reasons why Rachel Lindsay and Colton Underwood have a past with their feuds revolving a little he said, she said. There's some commenting from Colton Underwood saying Rachel just likes to get mad at people. We'll play all that after, but let's just play this clip from her latest episode of the podcast, Higher Learning with Lathan and Rachel Lindsay, and she is recording this from a car, which I'll have to tell you, having recorded my podcast, The Sap, for 7 years, some of my best episodes were recorded in my vehicle. The acoustics are good, and it's nice to not bother people at a coffee shop. All right, let's play this clip here. You can check it out. I'll put a link below to watch the full thing. Rachel's response to finding out that Colton Underwood comes out as gay.
It's the moment that everyone's been waiting for. Rachel gets to weigh in on this whopper of a story. Boom. Former Bachelor star Colton Underwood comes out as gay. This has been all over the place. He spoke to Robin Roberts about it. He has talked about it. Now, this was the guy that, correct me if I'm wrong, when he was on The Bachelor, he was El Virgin.
Yes.
So, and that was the thing. And he said, because I remember covering this on TMZ, he said that he didn't have time to have sex because he was too focused on football.
Correct.
Right away when he said that, I call bullshit on him, by the way. Right away when he said that. Not on his sexuality, but just on that. Half the reason we played football in high school was so that we could have more sex. That's what football, you know what I mean? You know, but so I didn't get that. You know, I didn't get that at all. But it was his experience. What are your thoughts on this? Right. This was everywhere. Obviously, you're a part of the Batch Nation. What do you think about Colton Underwood coming out as gay?
She's beautiful. I love Rachel.
So I've been reporting on this for a couple of days.
Great combo, these two.
And I'm trying to stick to reporting more than I am on an opinion.
Boo.
Because what I'm trying to not be is one of these clickbait headlines. Okay? Because that they love to do that. They love to listen in, and then they love to give a misleading headline.
Guilty.
So this is what I'll say. I think it takes guts and courage to come out, especially when you're such a public figure. It takes guts and courage, period. It's absolutely ridiculous that you got to come out anyway, that you have to announce what you are. It's so sad that that's the society we live in, even though it is way more accepted now than it used to be.
I feel like you're about to say something crazy.
No, I'm saying I just want to make that note because that's like something that always bothers me. It's just so sad that you have to make this big announcement. It's just unfortunate for the LGBTQ plus community. But I think it takes guts and courage to come out and especially on national television, on a high-rated, highly watched morning show, sitting with Robin Roberts, one of the best in the business, to say that you're gay when you've been on 3 shows as this most eligible bachelor, finding love. And it is a stark contrast to the way that you've been presented to the world, to what you're saying now. That takes bravery. That takes courage. But immediately what I did was ask my friends in the LGBTQ plus community what they thought. And every person I talked to didn't like it.
I love that she framed this as saying, I'm not going to give my opinion, but I talked to my friend.
And I listened to what people had to say, like that are from the community. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Rather than giving an opinion.
Right.
And everyone I talked to I think what it was for people is 2 things. One, it hasn't even been a year since it has been reported that you allegedly stalked, emotionally abused, and harassed your former girlfriend, Cassie Randolph, who was on The Bachelor with you. That case ended up settling out of court, and then they dismiss the criminal part of it. But it is an accusation that Cassie stands by. She never took it back.
Bingo.
And so the fact that you have yet to comment on that, to address that situation, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. That's one. Two, the fact that he coupled this announcement with the announcement of a new reality TV show. That is also rubbing people the wrong way. So the community seems to be split. I think across the board, everybody is proud of Colton for, coming out and having the courage to do that. But a lot of people are upset. There's a petition right now on change.org to remove his Netflix show. People are emailing Netflix. They're upset about it, that they're giving a platform to somebody who has a history of being problematic. A lot of the people that I talked to in the community were upset that he announced that he was gay, didn't address his problematic past, and kind of blamed the fact that he was in a dark place as to why he behaved that way. And I think that there are two separate issues, as my friend Demi said. There's two, who's in the community, there's two separate issues. Him being
Demi
gay,
Lovato?
and then what he's done that's problematic. I would have said Lovato if it was Lovato. Demi Burnett, who was a contestant on Colton's season,
Right.
who is bisexual. And so she has had a same-sex relationship on the show during Paradise. First one to do it. So she said there's two separate issues. And just the fact that nobody is recognizing Cassie and the fact that she's a victim is troubling to a lot of people. The people are mad at Netflix because they're giving him this platform. And then there are a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus community who feel like it's very opportunistic of him to have this reality show when he seems to be, if this is all new to him, he seems to be trying to figure this out and navigate it. They don't understand why it's coupled with the show. They don't like the fact that he has, quote, what they're calling a gay guide to navigate him. It just seems to be, to quote a friend of mine in the community, he said it was icky.
A gay guy.
So that's what the show is calling it. He's going around figuring this out with a gay guide.
Listen, this is a great conversation. And again, look, if you're like, Dave, why do you keep interrupting him? Go watch it. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. You can go find that link in the bio. But it's interesting to me that, look, if you're like, and for Rachel Lindsay here, she says she's complimented the great Robin Roberts there for conducting this interview, but it's up to the interviewer to press hard. I know a lot of people thought when Oprah interviewed Harry Styles, wow, One Direction, the wrong one. When Oprah interviewed Harry and Meghan, when she was talking to Meghan, she pressed back several times to get more clarification. A good interviewer gets more clarification on issues. Robin Roberts is a good interviewer. She knows what she's doing. So by not pressing back on Colton Underwood and asking him more about the Cassie Randolph situation, by not asking more about the restraining order being dropped and the tracking device that was allegedly placed under her car, which he has never denied, she didn't address those issues, and it makes you wonder, is it because they had an agreement beforehand not to talk about it? And some have criticized me. A very small amount of people have criticized me. I would say about 99% of the comments I get are in support of the truth coming out, saying you can't come out of the closet without talking about the last year of your life. Don't just say, I'm sorry for everyone involved. Apologies don't operate well in vague terms. You don't need ambiguity. Sorry for everyone involved? All right, well, he did a mass apology. You don't just get to blanket pardon someone. You got to be very specific about what you're sorry for. He didn't do that. Robin Roberts didn't push back on it. And ABC lost a little bit of love in my book. And that's hard for me to say, because I had an audition this morning for a new ABC TV show. If you want to see a photo from that audition, go to my Instagram right there. It was a self-tape for a new ABC show. And that's right. I'd rather talk to you guys about the truth than get that stupid part on that stupid ABC show. But if they are watching, I will take the show. I need to pay my SAG dues. Point is you need to speak truth to power and not be afraid to bite the hand that feeds.
People find it, they were offended by that. So, like, I'm not really going to give an opinion. I'm just going to tell you what I've talked to people in the community about it. I mean, I think it's great for him. He said he's the happiest and healthiest he's been, and I do not want to take that away from him.
Look,
good for him.
Good for him too. I don't know nothing about what you just said, but nobody cares about what I think about
you
this.
don't.
They care about what you what you think. I ain't gonna lie though. we have talked about on this show different sort of community teachers. Remember Chris Harrison had didn't he have
a race educator?
A race educator that he kept throwing Dr.
Called.
Dyson into it, and not as a gay guy, you know?
Yeah.
And
you're Rachel.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but that's fucking funny as hell, man. I'm sorry. Like that is hysterical. Like that is a black educator and like a gay guide. To me, that is really just the concept of it is what does the gay guide do? Does it kind of get you into the world?
Helping him navigate it. Yeah, apparently he's going to be sitting down with a bunch of other people in the LGBTQ plus community that are going to be talking with him, answering questions for him, and all of this is going to be documented. It's just very public.
Right. Look,
and I think
dope.
That's what people are struggling with.
That's dope. I guess that's better than, kind of not knowing what to do and all of that stuff like that. That shit is hilarious.
No, it's better. Me. It's better than going on a TV show where you're the most eligible bachelor dating 30 women who some have quit their jobs. Went for you because you were the virgin Christian bachelor.
He might have not known at that point that he was gay.
He said that he's known he was different since he was 6, and he's known, I believe he said since high school is when he started.
Rachel, this is a very complicated process.
No. I'm not telling him. I'm just telling you what he said. Oh. You're saying maybe he didn't know. I'm telling you he said he knew he was different. He said this on GMA. He knew he was different since 6, and then something with high school. So I'm just answering your question. Okay. I'm not ever going to criticize someone about their journey, especially from a world that I do not know. I'm never going to do that.
This is by the way, I felt inspired by Rachel's mic placement to grab my handheld mic right here. It looks like someone else is holding the mic for me, like, hey, come back. All right. But anyway, yeah, you don't need to see this. This is a $20 microphone. And this is a $400 microphone, and you probably can't tell the difference. That's it, folks. That's technology for you. But this one looks cooler. All right, so that's enough. You guys can go watch the rest of it. I love Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay. I love their dynamic. I like that he kind of plays. He's a very smart man. He kind of plays the idiot. I'm not calling him that. He's playing the idiot. He's kind of playing, you got two peas in a pod here. She comes at you with facts, and he's kind of the sidekick within the Bachelor conversation because she knows more about it than he does. So he asks some, questions that might sound stupid, but they lead to really good conversations. And I think that's a really great dynamic when it comes to, it's like David Spade and Chris Farley. It's a, straight man and then the character. So he's the character here. But anyway, I digress. Just looking at the comedy framework of how they work together because it's very dry. But I mean, it's genius. It really is. It's a smart convo. They're kind of like cousins. They have like this sort of like chemistry together where I wouldn't be afraid that she's going to leave her husband for him. But they definitely have this flirty chemistry. And I love that in podcasting. I love that they can kind of quip back at each other. So anyway, I love that Rachel said she's not going to give her opinion. She's just going to give the opinion of a curated selection of gay people she has spoken to and what they think, which is fine. Let that be your opinion. Yeah, absolutely. She said that her friends in her gay community have said two things. That hasn't been a year since he's stalked and harassed his ex-girlfriend, and that he's trying to get a reality TV show. And for both of those reasons, this seems suspect. Colton blamed the fact that he was in a dark place. She thinks that's suspect. We've all been in dark places. We don't put tracking devices on our ex's car. Yes, that did get you there. Of course, you don't put a tracking device if you're not in a dark place. Understood. But let's not use that as a reason to not explain it all and use your platform to help other victims of domestic violence. I think that would be a good starting place. So icky indeed. Now, because of the sensitivity regarding Rachel Lindsay and Colton Underwood's past, she does a really good job of not making this personal, which can be very hard. If there's someone you don't like and something comes out and you can see some BS, maybe looking at your chops to get in on him. She refuses to take that bait. So this kind of comment came out earlier on Reddit today, the Rachel Lindsay and Colton Underwood beef. So this is quickly explained here. Colton made several negative comments about Rachel. So here, so here's the first one. Sorry, hold on. Let me just toggle back. This was from a year ago. Colton is taking sides in the Rachel, Lindsay, Raven feud. Has he always disliked Rachel? So the question is, where did it begin? And, Colton's been off of social media for so long, we forget that he was kind of one of those guys that was very sensitive with his social media snapbacks. So Us Weekly posted this. She knows what she did. Rachel Lindsay will never be friends with former bestie and fellow Bachelor alum Raven Gates again. And then Colton says, shocker, Rachel mad at another person? Does she like anyone? All right, wow. And of course, people after that comment were like, Jesus Christ, Colton, wow. I get the feeling he's going to end up deleting this comment. Doesn't he delete a lot of the shady things he posts? Well, yeah, he doesn't like them being tracked online. Yeah, he does have a tendency of posting and deleting, which can kind of go to show you can't control your emotions if you have to post something and then delete it, which we've all done, but of course, have a little bit of restraint there. Some restraint is in order. Restraining, okay. He didn't also used to literally clear his old Twitter out for a while when he'd get upset or something. Yeah, he's cleared his Twitter at least 2 times that I know of. Colton reminds me of myself as a teenager, putting up angsty AIM away messages about my boyfriend and then deleting it 5 minutes later because I decided it was too obvious. Oh, those were the good days. Those were the good days. Remember that when you'd post some Green Day song after you break up with somebody? So what's his away message? Closing time. Whatever. Okay, you don't need to hear me sing. Oh boy, that's one of those references. You'll leave a comment. What's your favorite AIM message? Do you remember that? Do you remember your I used to have a stand-up bit about that. That my whole life identity was revolving around that one decision to be called Baseball DN. That was my AIM username. So because of that, people that didn't know me were like, how's baseball, Dave? And after like 5 years of that, I was like, I'm more than just a baseball player. You know what I mean? Rachel versus Colton in retrospect. So then this on Reddit, and again, I've been accused of pulling a lot of content from Reddit, which is bananas to me because I'm not trying to hide it. Of course, Reddit is the best place to curate groupthink with regards to different things in Bachelor Nation. People pull up sources and tabs. It's like having a whole team that works for me that I don't pay. And then we all collectively share the info, and you get to collectively hear my take on it. I don't break the news. I just react to it, I guess is the point. Rachel versus Colton in retrospect. And by the way, this will be my last video of the day. I'm going to get my second vaccine. If you want to follow me along on Instagram, you can see that journey. I'm going to be going to Dodger Stadium right after this. I was there on Saturday for Tasha getting her second dose. It was a 5-hour wait. I'm thinking it'll be a little quicker today. I totally just jinxed myself. Let's do it under 3 hours. I don't think my car can handle 5 hours waiting in line. Literally, it's going to blow up. So this was from 7 months ago. Rachel versus Colton in retrospect. This may not be the best time to bring it up, but with recent events, I can't help but think that how Rachel preemptively tried to ring the alarm on Colton to Cassie, and how this triggered Colton so strongly he instigated a public feud against Rachel. While I think that was definitely a red flag in regards to Colton's potential aggressiveness towards women, I wonder if whatever Rachel saw in Colton made her think he had the capabilities to take things so far, or was she just put off by his general fame whoreness? Edit, since most people don't remember, a while back, Colton decided to stick his nose into whatever problem is going on between Rachel and Raven and diss Rachel. He then claimed that Rachel had been running her mouth about him to Cassie. Don't know exactly what he meant by that. So yeah, this went kind of on and on. Found out the other day that Colton and Cassie broke up briefly last August. I remembered Rachel telling Whit and Rye on the podcast, mentioned in the article, that she spoke to Cassie that July at an event. But Rachel told them that she never talked about Colton to Cassie. Cassie did tell her, I know you don't like Colton, and Rachel said she told her she was just indifferent, but that she wished he would be himself on camera because people told her that he's different off camera, and she said Cassie agreed with her. I don't see how Colton would be mad about that. I suspect he was mad about Cassie getting career advice from Rachel. She said Cassie was talking with her about going back to school and bachelor opportunities, and she gave her advice on how to navigate everything. Basically, not to worry about what the public thinks, but to do what's best for her. I think Cassie started making decisions about her career that were independent of Colton, and he didn't like it and blamed Rachel. Now, of course, this is anecdotal. This is just someone's thought and opinion about how things went down, but that's what happens in controlling relationships. Now, people say, well, was this a controlling relationship? Well, you tell me. You tell me. Was Colton trying to control the outcome of this relationship? Was he leaping over fences in Portugal or wherever he was? Was he showing up at alleyways in Huntington Beach? Was he putting tracking devices on the bumper of someone's car with duct tape? Was he trying to control the outcome of this relationship and get his narrative out? Yes. 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 Will he be using his platform moving forward to curate an image of himself he wants people to see that might not be who he really is? Yes. And I know what you're thinking, Dave, don't we all do this? Maybe, to an extent. The point is, we seek to strip away the confines of what society wants us to be. Colton, you're out of the closet, okay? You don't have to be a virgin because you were focused on football. You're a virgin because you like guys, and that's okay. Not only is it okay, it's embraced. The community will embrace you. They will embrace the choices you make, but they may have a problem if it seems opportunistic. People were saying you didn't come out of the closet till you had this Netflix deal. I'm not going to admit that I'm gay unless I've got X, Y, and Z lined up in the future. You know, there's nothing necessarily wrong in taking whatever monetary gain that's out there and getting some for yourself. It's like, all right, the rains are coming. I might as well put out my rain buckets. Colton put out his rain buckets, and that's the Netflix deal and all that. And we'll have to see how the rest goes. Colton's behavior towards Rachel was a red flag. Getting so aggravated over her comments to Cassie, even if they weren't complimentary, felt like an overreaction, especially if his relationship with Cassie was on solid footing. Part of me in retrospect now wonders if his reaction was so over the top precisely because Cassie kept one foot near the door at all times in their relationship and he didn't want her to receive any encouragements to leave. Regardless, I think many of us were put off by his grand romantic gesture of chasing after Cassie after she's willingly chosen to go home. Even at the time, it felt like she had been backed into a corner and had to agree to date because otherwise people would villainize her for breaking his heart. I felt bad for Cassie and still do. The minute Colton fixated on her, she was left in a no-win position. Even after giving the relationship a good run, people are still upset with her for breaking up with Colton, and it's not fair. She doesn't owe him a relationship just because she went on a show. Amen to that. Yeah, Cassie still gets a lot of hate. I see it in the comments. More people have come around to her, but she still gets a lot of hate. She went on a reality show before that. She really wasn't in it. Oh, really? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And you tell me where her actions of finding out who she is equated to her being stalked and harassed. Not in my book, folks. Not in my book. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward with regards to how Colton is perceived within not only the Bachelor community, but within the gay community. I, for one, have made it clear that I want to embrace Colton sharing his platform in the gay community. I just have a hard time digesting him moving forward without him addressing all of the details of his past. I'm talking about a proverbial slideshow auditing the text messages he created from an unknown device, the tracking device that he put underneath the trunk of Cassie's car, showing up in the alley, and everything else in between. Everything that was in that court document, I would love for him to either defend, admit to it with explanation. I'd love to hear him talk about it. So if you say that you blame the fact that you were in a dark place, talk about it. Wouldn't you want to shed light on those dark moments? Wouldn't that be helpful to you and to anyone else who wants to listen? Don't forget, the greatest disinfectant is sunlight. So get out there, get some vitamin D. You guys know I'll be doing that today as I wait in line at Dodger Stadium. At least I'll be in my car listening to podcasts. If any news breaks, I will break it for you guys from my Toyota. So if the next video you see of me is in line in traffic, I'm breaking news while I get my second dose of the vaccine right before my 36th birthday, which is only, I believe, a week and a half away. I'll be doing a live stream Mondays, 4 p.m. and Thursdays, 4 p.m. It'll be next Thursday's live stream. Let me double check on that date there. Can you believe today's the 20th? You know what that means? 420, which is not a good day in history. Not a good day. Hitler was born on 420, but either way, it's also the universal day of smoking that ganj. So get out there. The live stream on Thursday, April 29th will be my birthday live stream. My birthday's May 1st. So next Thursday, come for 4 p.m. We'll be doing pizza. We'll be doing cake. We'll be having a blast of a time. Thank you guys so much for checking out my video. And of course, if you haven't already, go check out my vlog channel, Dave Neal Vlogs. We are getting a ton of love from all of you. I will be sharing all of the information, new patio setup, wedding planning, and new house, stand-up comedy, and everything else in between. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and we'll see you later. Bye now.